Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in to another video by a guy who mains Falcon. I'm back with another guide, this time on mashing in SSF2. In this video, I'll be covering what you can do to minimize the time you spend in grab, whether it's a regular grab, Wario's Chomp, Yoshi's Egg Lay, or Kirby's Inhale. Getting right down to business, a grab at 0 leaves you held for 44 frames. At 100%, you are held in grab for 129 frames. From this data, I have calculated the formula for being stuck in grab. 44 plus 17 times the percent over 20. I also tested on more than one character, and the time spent in grab stayed the same across percent. So, what can you do to reduce the amount of time spent in grab? Mashing buttons, of course! Each button press translates to 4 less frames stuck in a regular grab. Rigorous testing has revealed the best method to mash out of grabs. According to my research, the C-stick, dash, walk, shield, jump, and grab buttons do not affect the time you spend in a grab, so don't worry about using these. Instead, just focus on using the control stick, the A button, and the B button. It doesn't matter how you press the A and B button, whether they are at the same time or if you alternate between them. Just press these as fast as you can. If you use a keyboard, you might have more success alternating between A and B button between your two fingers. If you use a controller like I do, sliding your thumb between these two buttons works as well. That said, you could just mash both the A and B buttons at the same time. As for the control stick, if you watched my video on Smash DI, you'll remember that the control stick needed to reset to neutral between every input. When mashing out of a grab, it's the same deal. You can mash as much as you want, just make sure to let there be a frame where you aren't pressing a direction between two directional inputs. On keyboard, you can just pick 2 directions and mash those alternately. On a controller, I would advise picking 2 opposite directions and flicking the control stick back and forth between the 2. The other grab moves I mentioned are only slightly different. I'll start with Inhale and Egg Lay. Inhale traps for at most 60 frames, no matter the character or percent. Follow the same mashing rules as for a regular grab, alternating A, B button presses and the control stick directions to get out of this as fast as possible. Again, each mash removes 4 frames from the time stuck in grab. A determined Kirby will just absorb your power right away, but with mashing you can do a lot to avoid Kirby sides. Yoshi's Egg Lay traps you for 46 frames at 0%, no matter the character. The time spent in the egg scales with percent with this formula. Percent divided by 5 plus 46. You can mash out of the egg in the same way you mash out of Inhale or a regular grab. Wario's Chomp requires different execution. At 0, Wario's Chomp holds you for 95 frames, scales with percent, and is unaffected by weight. It follows this formula, percent divided by 4 plus 95, and each mash only gets you out of the grab 2 frames sooner. The optimal mashing for Wario's Chomp is also a little different. The same buttons work here as the other grabs, but the grab button works as well. The other difference is that your next input only needs to be different from the last one. You do not need to reset your control stick to neutral, so on keyboard you can just spam your control stick buttons as well as your A, B, and grab buttons. On controller, you can try flicking your fingers across the buttons as well as circling the control stick. This way, you will hopefully get frame-perfect mashing. Unfortunately, Wario always has time to do 3 chomps then throw you, but you can use this mashing to avoid a chomp side. So, just to recap, if you get grabbed by any of these moves, just start mashing the A and B buttons. If you are grabbed by a regular grab, Egg Lay, or Inhale, pick 2 directions for your control stick and alternate between them. If you get grabbed by Chomp, press all of your control stick buttons, or circle your control stick if you are using a controller. I hope you learned a thing or two. Now get out there and mash some grabs! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.